Is it me, or is she looking a lot better? Hello, welcome to another Petroblog Rubbish YouTube video. As you can see, I've been busy on the Beer Money Safrane. I've been fettling, tinkering, beautifying, cleaning to bring her up to a standard that you see before you today. Now, she's not going to win the Festival of the Unexceptional. She's not even going to turn heads in a car park. But I think she's looking presentable for the first time in, well, probably a decade, let's be honest. What have I done? So, reluctantly I used a pressure washer to start off with. The moss was so bad that I had to get the pressure washer out to get her looking half decent. If you remember, this looked like Monty Don's allotment along here, and there were things growing along here, and there probably still are things growing under there. And if you haven't noticed already, look at the beading, because what I've done, in addition to pressure washing her, I washed her twice with a bucket and obviously did the proper job, and then finished her off with some wax. And I've also used my favourite back to black stuff to get the black half decent. I say half decent because she actually looks a little bit better in the rain, let's be honest. When she just stepped out of the shower, she looks a little bit better. But the black is coming up nicely, as you can see. That's not helping. And it's had a little dent there, so that's not helping. Oh, and the other thing I need to point out, do you remember there was a white sticker here? I thought it was tape. I thought there was probably a crack in the glass and the tape was just there to hide it. Turns out it was a Safrane GB sticker that had long since faded. So I've just removed that. I'd like to get hold of an original one and put it somewhere, but chances of those are slim. I'm also, obviously the number plates let it down as well. I think that's an MOT pass, to be fair, but I do like the fact that it's the original, sorry, flying ants. I do like the fact that the original plates. You notice I've done the glass as well, so that's beading quite nicely, and she's now flying the Petroblog flag and living up to the French tap badge. There are so many flying ants, all here to see the magnificent creature that is the Beer Money Safrane. What else can I tell you about what I've discovered during the clean down process, which has taken the best part of a day, probably a day and a half if I include the initial jet washing as well. Obviously the bonnet is no good. The bonnet is a big letdown, as is the fact that there's no badge. And I've found out, thank you very much to the person on Twitter, the person on YouTube who pointed out that the McGann won't fit it. Saves me a job. This side's actually better. Not just because it's got an executive badge still, but this side looks a lot better. So I did start to wipe it down actually before the video, but I thought, what's the point? It looks nice with the bead anyway. It's like automotive porn. But she's looking good. Well, she's looking better. That tyre was down to 2 psi. So, but it doesn't matter. The wheels need redoing. The tyres obviously need changing. So, I think it's looking good. I've done the boot. So the boot's been cleared out. The footprints in there are me clambering into the back, because as you know, the back doors don't work. So I had to remove the parcel shelf, remove the secondary sort of parcel shelf there, fold the seats down and clamber into the back, which is a good look. So I apologise the boot isn't immaculate, but it's, can I use that word again? Better. And then spent a good couple of hours improving the interior. So as you can see, she's been, well, I hope she's been improved. I think she's been improved slowly. She doesn't look unloved anymore. She looks like she's ready to be resurrected. Took a lot of hoovering. It filled an entire Dyson, put it that way. And I don't mean Dyson the goat either. It took an entire Dyson. I've started doing the inside of the doors as well. And I appreciate that really there's other priorities. I just got bitten. I appreciate that actually the mechanics have to come first, but it's kind of, I enjoy this part of the process, and now it's looking like this. It gives you encouragement to crack on, and when there's days when something goes wrong on the mechanics, you'll be more inclined to keep going if the car's looking half decent. And I think it's looking half decent. I'm quite pleased with the way the black's come up. Annoyingly, this is almost too far gone. I think that's going to need refinishing. In terms of rust, the arches are starting to go, but that's not a problem there. We've had another one that's just stone chips. That one's okay. Ow, I'm getting bitten alive here. There's wasps on the bonnet as well. They seem to like the there's a moth on the bonnet now. The lack of lacquer. Easy for me to say. So yeah, not much rust on the outside. I mean, I haven't been underneath yet, so I'm sure I'll find some more rust underneath. Oh, you can't see it because it's lovely beading, but a bit of rust here. So that's going to need to be sorted out. But tell you what, it looks nice, the beading, doesn't it? So what I thought we'd do, we'd jump inside. But actually, before I did that, what I've done, I've stolen the battery from the 406. Look at that. You know, that's not bad, is it? Hey? I've stolen the battery from the 406. So we could, if you're up for it, see what happens when we connect a battery. Because I don't expect she's had any electricity for, well, at least a decade, maybe the full 12 years, we don't know. So it's tempting to see what happens when we power her up. She suffers from the same problem as the other Safrane in the fact that the bonnet doesn't open unless one person sits in the front and pulls the lever and the other person sits on the bonnet. That's the way around that job for now, but I will get those greased up. So yeah, we've got stolen the battery from the 406. She's got the same connectors as the Zara. The only car I've seen on it before is a Zara. So these are the ones that you twist on, which are quite good actually. Quite like these. And then, right, so this is momentous, I think. This is the first time in 12 years since she's had any electric. Oh, I heard clicking. Things are definitely happening. And she's not on fire. There's no sparks. So we'll jump in. I just want to try. Right, I reckon the battery's gone on the key because that's not doing anything. Any sign of... Oh, there is sign of life. Look. Ooh, puddle lights. Puddle lights. Have they got them in the back as well? Can't see because the seat's in the way. But she's got puddle lights. That's one thing my other Safrane hasn't got. Safrane. That's the other thing my other one hasn't got. So on the executive model on the 2-litre car before the facelift, or the phase one, you got puddle lights. That is quite exciting. I just realised I left it in neutral. Not that it matters. Right. So they should go off. But they're not. Are they on a delay? See, I don't know, because I've never had a phase one Safrane. Are they on a delay? Do they go out after so long? If so, that's a nice touch. Or are they permanent? Oh, they've gone off. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, do the interior lights work? That little one does. Did the one underneath the mirror work? Yes. I shouldn't be that excited about the fact that the interior light works. But after 12 years of inactivity, it's actually quite exciting. I nearly tried the sunroof there. No, that could have been a disaster. Before I do anything else, hello Rob, if you're watching, previous owner, I found this in the back of the seat. It looks like a present from Italy. So someone didn't get their novelty, I say novelty, it actually looks quite expensive. Someone didn't get their ashtray or hors d'oeuvres plate. I will pass that on to you. Unless it's worth a small fortune, in which case it's going on eBay. No, I'm kidding. Have it back. I don't want your papilla scupuli. Sorry for the pronunciation. Matteo, I'm sorry if I pronounce that terribly. Somebody pointed out, a couple of people pointed out that actually this was in the boot amongst all the rubbish. I did know it was there, I just forgot to mention it. So this is all I've got in terms of history. I've got no receipts or invoices or MOTs or anything like that. Having said that, what I was quite encouraged by, not encouraged by the Blaupunkt radio, although we'll see if that works in a minute. I'm encouraged, look, how good's that? Oh, we're talking of, so I found, is it this one? Yeah, I've got a story to tell you about this. In the village, there is a very early R-Reg, I think, or maybe it's an S-Reg, Megane Coupe, in that colour. It's been there a few years. Look at the old RAC badge, by the way. It's been there a few years, and during lockdown it hasn't moved, and it's got more moss on it than the Safrane had last week. Obviously, I've written a letter to the owner. I didn't want to pop round, given the circumstances at the moment, but I have written a letter. I staked my claim and said, if you are going to sell it, or if you need someone to wash it, I'm your man, as George Michael sang. Was it George Michael? Probably not. Because I got the last one wrong. I said it was Paula Abdul, didn't I? No, I said it was Gloria Estefan. I was thinking of the wrong lady. So yeah, we've got the original warranty and service history. And as the number plates said, it was originally sold in Egerton, Southampton, Westquay Road on the 23rd of August 1996. And what I wanted to show you on this, which I'm going to use the word exciting again, not quite as exciting as the fact this car's been to Luxembourg. This car, for the first 2 years, was serviced at Egerton in Southampton. Spoke to Andrew in service, which is nice. After that, from the year 2000, it was serviced at Wallenhurst Garage. Anyone know that? In Billericay. And look, pretty much on the dot, every few thousand miles, every sort of 6,000 or 7,000 miles, it was serviced by the same garage all the way up to 118,000 in 2006. So I can't remember the exact mile. I think it's on 130, this car, roughly. So 12,000 miles ago, it had a service. So it is due a service, as we know. It was going to be serviced anyway. But I'm quite encouraged by the fact that it was serviced almost until its near-death experience. I think that's good. So yeah, I've got the original. That's all I've got. But the fact that it was serviced so often is slightly encouraging. I'll put that away later because it's quite boring. I couldn't find a keyring, so I've marked the original Ridge Racer Type 4 keyring. Lots of insects around today. It's flying ant day here. Right, so we are going to experience something this car hasn't experienced for 12 years. We're in this together. These are lovely creaking seats. Beautiful. I'm going to put the key in, and we're going to see what happens when we put the key in. Well, will it do anything? The fact that the interior lights are working is a positive. So will there is electricity run into the car? First key, lots of noise. 18 degrees. The air conditioning is turned off, and I'm going to keep it that way, I think. Bearing in mind the potential for the heater core being kaput. So we should turn that again. It should be the next level. Yes, we had lots of lights. Light fantastic. Lots of flashing lights. No fuel, which I knew. Well, I kind of guessed. The fuel in there is so far gone anyway. It's 134,000 miles. This is exciting. Is it exciting? I'm excited the fact that things are working. What I think I'm desperate to try is the voice synthesizer. I've been looking at the manual today, and it does lots of things, like tell you if you've run out of oil, which is obviously quite critical. By the time it tells you run out of oil, I think it's very critical. Although to be fair, I think it's oil pressure. It tells you things like seat belts and basically all the kind of stuff that you want to know if you're forgetful. So let's see, A, see if it works, and B, find out what's wrong with this car. Weirdly, it looks like it's turned on, but I read in the manual that actually to turn it on, the button must be up. Oh, that's disappointing. Oh!
Warning. Engine immobilizer is set.
Oh.
You can't start the engine.
Okay.
Refer to handbook.
Thank you. Is that it? Is that the entire list of problems with my Safrane? Well, that's encouraging. Are you done? Whoa. Oh.
Warning, fuel level low.
Yeah, I've got a gauge that tells me that, mister. Okay, so that's two things. Two things wrong. Anything else? Don't tell me what the weather's like in France. No, that's it. So there are two things wrong with my Safrane. One is going to be cured by putting fuel in, and one is the immobiliser. And I think that's obviously linked to the fact that, well, I can't get in with the key, and also I can't get in to the back doors. I'll tell you what we need to find out. Left the key. I'm going to see if the lights work. And just as importantly, I'm going to see if the front fog lights work. Let's put the rear fog lights on as well. Oh.
Side lights faulty.
Okay. Fine. Is that it? Anything else wrong with my lights? He's quite blunt, isn't he? Do you remember that Two Tribes song by Frankie Goes to Hollywood? And it says, "This is the sound of the warning," or something. The air attack warning sounds like. He sounds like that man. He sounds like the man who tells you when there's a nuclear attack, which I guess is quite apt if you're driving a French car from the 1990s, because terminal problems are never far away. Okay. Should I shut the door? Is that too... Oh, I'm not going to shut the door. I think that could be a disaster. Oh, the front, look, the rear fog light works. Good. It's not raining now. This is much nicer. Well, this is the moment of truth. Do the front fog lights work? Look. Warning. Side light. Faulty. It does sound a little bit like the Major in Faulty Towers. Not that we can talk about him anymore because he's not PC. Look at that. The fog lights work, which is more exciting than the fact that it's been to Luxembourg. Look at that. So things are working on this car, apart from the side lights. Actually, they're the indicators, not the side lights. And actually, to be fair, that probably worked. It's just the outside lens that's gone. So look, God, these flies. Oh. Okay. Hopefully that's just a bulb. Although, yeah, look, nothing's working on this side. So it's obviously linked to this because there is water in there. Yeah, so things are working down this side, but not down this side. Okay, so there's a problem to fix. So the man on the machine, the air attack warning man, is right. I think he's being slightly optimistic in terms of the things that are wrong with this car. Because if that's the extent of it, I'm gonna...
Side lights faulty.
Yeah.
Warning, fuel level low.
Yeah.
Warning, engine immobilizer is set.
Okay.
You can't start the engine.
He does sound
Refer
like
to handbook.
Thank you. He does sound like he should be in the War Office in the Second World War. I like him. Although I'm disappointed he's not the woman you get in the MG Maestro. What was her name? Magdalene? Marianne? Margaret? Something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna turn him off now in case he keeps interrupting this video. What else can we check if works? Well, windows. Let's see if the window works. This is quite brave, actually, to try the windows on a car that's been... Sounds very stony in there. Does it go... Okay. And does it go up? Slowly but surely. Flying ant before he gets stuck. Yep, that works. Does the other one work? Again. Ooh, that's nasty. But it does work. Rear ones. Oh. There's obviously big problems with the back doors. And, well, they work. The wing mirrors are working. Sorry, not wing mirrors, showing my age. Door mirrors. Sounding like they haven't been used, for 12 years. We can try if the radio works. Code. Hang on. I'll turn the video off and see if I can find the code. So the code is gone past it, 2857. If anyone steals this car, they'll know the radio code. Good luck with that, boys and girls. I can't remember what you press after that. Would it be that one? Oh. That's not a good sign. Well, it's on 5 Live. The radio works!
Personal trauma, the mental, psychological abuse, and the emotional abuse
Right, CD player.
heaped upon me, I needed to find a way to hold myself together, to not only compose myself.
Oh! What's he got? What's he got in the stereo? I'm going to turn that down before I get into copyright problems. But it's working. Things are working on this car, which is positive. Like I say, I'm not going to turn the I'm not going to turn the air conditioning on because that would be a disaster. I didn't check the sunroof. Am I brave or stupid or... Should we try the sunroof? The sunroof works. Slide and tilt function is working. Well, that's good. So what have we discovered? Well, we discovered that I still can't get into the back door, even with the ignition, even if the power on, and the back windows aren't working. And I have side light problems because they're faulty. So we ought to look in the boot to see what CDs are in the changer. Rob did warn me that they could be quite embarrassing. I do need to send them back to him. I'll send it with the Italian ashtray. Oh, look, there's lots in there. Is that 10? Yeah. Get these values, quite simple. We have Pretty Woman, the soundtrack. #1 love songs of the 1960s. Born to be Wild. I sense these are compilations. Chantilly Lace had a pretty face. Decades 60s, 70s and 80s. What else? #1 love songs of the 60s. Heartbeat. What they do? Halfway to Paradise. There are 3 more. Gypsy Kings. 80s. And 70s. So we have a full quota of CDs for your listening pleasure. There's probably enough there to get to the south of France, which is something we'll have to do in this car in the not too distant future. So my moth's just gone in the car. There it is. No, it doesn't leave him. Out you come. Get out. Right. So that's it. That is the car with electricity running to her. And with, I would say, marginally good looking good. That's not working. But I'll try a battery on that before we know the next video. What is the next video? Well, the next video on Safrane will be post oil change. So I'm going to service her next. Drain the fuel out, do the filters, do the fluids, and then just see if we can get her started. And then we can discover what's wrong. I had an idea today, and it might be a harebrained idea, and I don't even know if this car's going to be eligible. But it's a year almost to the Festival of the Unexceptional. And I think she deserves to be there. Maybe not as a competitor, but certainly in the car park. So maybe we could take both Safranes to that. the £200 of Fran and the beer money Safrane, they should both be at the Festival of the Unexceptional. Haggerty, if you're watching and you want to sponsor this channel and you want to make that happen, please be in touch. I'd be great to hear from you. The other thing we need to do is tell you what's lurking under the car cover. But you can't wait to find out. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.